Great.
Yep.
Okay. Welcome back to the Brent Bravo, everybody. If you're new to the Brent Bravo, my name's Craig. I'm the OIM. We'll have your safety induction right here in this room at 4 o'clock this afternoon. If there's any change to that, we'll let you know. I'll talk to you a bit about safety, some learning from incidents, and I'll give you a rundown on what's been going on the platform, what's happening right now, a high-level overview of the activities on board. See if you have any questions, check your 3-layer compliance, and then let you go. Does anybody here need a leg video? You don't need a leg video. Good. Okay, so safety. We don't have a lot of incidents to learn from, which is nice, but we do have a near miss or a potential incident that I'd like to share with you, because I think there's some learning to be had there, not just with the incident itself, but the way that we go about following our processes and procedures and why we do that. We have a team on board that works at height. They have a process or a procedure that they follow with respect to the tools that they use at height. So they have a register, working aloft register. The tools are logged on the working aloft register. There's a special toolbox created just for those tools, and they're specifically designed for working aloft, so it's less likely for them to drop them, less likely to have dropped objects. It was found recently that somebody was working at height with a tool, not a homemade tool, but a tool which had homemade lanyard and strapping on it, which was very, very well done, and I don't spite the person for doing it, doing a very thorough job of making sure they wouldn't drop the tool, but obviously it wasn't logged, it wasn't an approved tool, it wasn't part of that process. Now, first of all, the good stuff. Best of intentions. There was one guy using the first tool of that type, a socket wrench. There was an opportunity for a second guy to go up and work with a socket wrench, but there wasn't a second socket wrench in the toolbox. They took it upon themselves to create a second socket wrench that could be used at height and not log it and not review it with a supervisor, and it was found. So that's how we got to where we are now. Almost got it right, because the intention was fantastic. So what would have been better is to say, there's room for improvement on this toolbox, we need another tool. Before I go up there with this thing here, boss, what do you think? And maybe we would have said, yeah, that's fine. For a short period of time, go ahead and use that tool. Now you're off the hook as far as accountability, and we'll take it on the shoulders as a site leadership. And we'll just put that in the book. We'll take a picture of it, log it. Or maybe we would have said, no, don't use it. Don't do that job that way. Find something else to do with your time. But at the very least, we would have ordered a second tool like that to be put in the toolbox. Or maybe grab one from up the field where they weren't using a tool like that. And it would have been a safe way of doing things. What it shows us is that we're not following the processes and procedures that we have. And what I say every night at our induction is, if you think you're doing me any favors by cutting a corner or curtailing a procedure or process, you're not. We make an agreement with ourselves and everybody else external to this organization that we are going to follow the processes and procedures, and that's how we're going to work safe. And that's what I want to be able to do and say with confidence when I talk to people from the HSE UK, from people from my management, people external parties. So please, please, please help me do that. Follow the process and procedure that we have, and don't do me any favors by cutting them. So that's HSE. As far as activities on board right now, I usually go through priorities, the highest priority activity, but we cleared out a lot of stuff that was very high priority in the first week that we were on. So I'll just go from bottom to top. So the stuff that's deepest down is the stuff that's in the earth. BB20, we have well services on board, so the whole skid deck is covered with well services and all their equipment. They're on BB20. They've done a great job so far. They've cleaned up that well. They've gotten the prong out of that well. They're in the process of trying to pull the plug. The plug's a little bit stubborn, but I'm sure they'll get after it. At a very quick glance, I think we've saved £750,000 by doing it through the well services team rather than using the rig, which is wonderful. I'm overjoyed by that. Even if that number is wrong by 50%, I don't care. So that's the deepest activity we have. The next one up is impact in the shaft at night mostly. They're in the process of gelling and pigging the lines, effectively mothballing old pipe work that we've previously removed all the rundown lines to. So that's ongoing for the next 4 or 5 weeks, depends on how the performance goes. Further up, we've got on D-deck, We've got blasting and painting on the west side. Now, there'll be blasting and painting ongoing straight through to December. It's just a matter of whether or not the weather is permitting, if they'll be outboard or inboard, or what they'll be doing. So do be aware of the signs and barriers there. Further up, we're in the well bays on the east side. We're changing out a spool in there today. It's a diesel line. Stay away. We've got everything cut and isolated. We're just letting things cure for the time being, and then we're going to go and replace the spool. That's the last of 3 diesel spools to be changed out. So all those MCDRs will be cleared off. Just trying to think, there'll probably be some inspection and bombing on the back of the RPM level 2, and that's more or less it. I'm sure there's other stuff going on, but I can't think of it right at the moment. Like I said, we've got a lot of stuff down the road. Right, so first of all, any questions from you guys at this point? Anything at all?
Well, I wanted to have a look around the sort of the well deck sometime during the visit.
Absolutely, yeah.
Normally Alan takes me around everywhere, but do we need somebody else to sort of go with us for some of these locations?
Well, here's an excellent guy. We've got the drilling supervisor on board, Ian, but we also have Craig, who's been on a week, so I'm sure Craig would be keen to take you for a full tour there. Just grab him. He should be in the office. Extension 6208, if you need to call him. Right, good. Any other questions? Can I check your 3-layer compliance? There's something I do. Everybody that comes, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, come on, 3. Wonderful. Something I do with every crew that comes on board. That way I can say with confidence that we comply to that rule, and I encourage everybody that comes on board to do the same in their place of work. The only way you can confidently answer the question, do you do this, is if you actually check and verify that you do from time to time. Great. Thanks, everybody.